Hello children, how are you? Today I will teach the second lesson of your course, A Fellow Traveler by A.G. Gardiner. Children, I am Meenakshi Tripathi, Principal Government High School, Osa, Raebareli, and I will teach you the second part of this lesson. We have already read the first part. Children, before I start the remaining paragraphs, let me do a recap. In my last class, I told you that writer A.G. Gardiner was traveling from London to a Midland town. He was traveling in a train, and it was a slow train, children. It was a stopping train, and it used to stop at all the small stations. And it was a leisurely train. It was not at all in a hurry, and the passengers were alighting in ones and twos. The writer boarded the train, and gradually the passengers were alighting, and in some time he felt that he was all alone in the compartment. Rather, later on he felt that it was his mistake that he thought that he was all alone. He has beautifully described all the things that we can do when we are all alone. We can enjoy the freedom, because freedom is something that is really very rare, and we must enjoy it if we get the opportunity to do it, children. He had told us various things that we can do when we are all alone. We can sing, we can dance, we can talk to ourselves, we can imagine that we are fighting with a friend, and we can even defeat him because there is no one to counter attack. So there are a lot of things that we can do. We can open the window, we can shut the window, we can go on opening and shutting the window. It's a sort of festival of freedom that we can enjoy, children. But A.G. Gardiner told that he did not do any of these things on that particular day when he found himself all alone in the compartment. He stood up and started seeing out of the window. The pale reminiscence of the day were still present in the northern sky. He lit his cigarette and sat down, and he began to read. It was only then that he realized that there was someone else also in the compartment. And children, who was it? It was a mosquito. I told you in my last class that A.G. Gardiner was a genius as a writer. He had beautifully blended philosophy of life with humor, children. Very beautifully he had described a very ordinary incident of life with an exceptionally interesting way. Very beautifully he has described the small incident of life in an exceptionally interesting way. He has used 3 adjectives for the mosquito: wingy, nippy, and intrepid. It was having wings, it was very clever, and it was very courageous. He was thinking that the mosquito was very little and it could not do any harm to him. But it was really a misunderstanding of the writer, because later on he felt that it was not the truth. Children, these were the things that we studied in our last class. Now we'll study further. First of all, it sat on the neck of the writer. The writer flicked him off, and he thought that very easily it would go. But he was mistaken, children, because the mosquito took a round of the whole compartment, all the 3 dimensions, and then again it came and sit impudently, very rudely. It was not afraid of the writer. Very rudely it again came and sat on the back of his hand, children. It means, although the mosquito was very little, it was merely an insect, but it was very courageous, children, and at the same time it was very clever or intelligent also, because it was not at all afraid of the large animal who was sitting in the corner, children. The writer said, magnanimity has its limit. Actually, there was a sense of superiority in the writer. He was feeling that he was superior to that little creature. And he was a distinct personality. He was an august person. He was a distinct personality. And how was it possible that that small incident could disturb his repose? He was not able to tolerate it, because his sense of superiority was hurt, children. So my august person resents the tickling impertinence of strangers. He said that you are a stranger for me. How can I tolerate your impertinence? How can I tolerate your disturbance? How can I allow you to disturb me, children? I assume the black cap, I assume the position of a judge, because you are causing disturbance. Now I have become a judge for you, and now I am going to give the right judgment, because justice demands it and the court awards it, because it is the demand of justice that you must be punished now. The writer has mixed a tinge of humor when he says there are many counts against you. Many counts, there are many charges against you. Charges, he told that mosquito, you are a vagrant, you are a vagabond. Who is a vagabond, children? Vagabond is a person who roams here and there aimlessly. So he says that mosquito is also roaming here and there aimlessly. So this is the first count against that insect. Another one is that it is causing a public nuisance, because as all of you know, mosquitoes cause public nuisance. So, and another charge is that it is traveling without ticket. It is inside the compartment, but it has not taken any ticket. So how can it be possible that it is breaking the laws, it is breaking the rules and regulations of the railways? This is also one of the charges. Another charge is that it has no meat coupon and still it is sucking the blood. So the writer is saying that for all these and many other misdemeanors, I am going to kill you. The writer is full of superiority feeling, and that is the reason that he said that I have given you the death sentence. Now nobody will be able to save you. His personal vanity was aroused. His personal ego, vanity, ego aroused, and he decided that he would no longer accept the disturbance of this little insect who had no identity in front of it, because it was such a small insect. How can he be defeated by such a small insect like mosquito? So he decided that he would kill it at all costs. and he made all the efforts to kill it. He lunged at it with his paper, with his hand, and when he saw that he was not able to kill it, he used or he adopted tactics of feline cunning, cat-like cunningness. What did he do? He waited till the mosquito alighted, and when he saw that the mosquito had alighted, he attacked it with horrible stealthiness. Children, these were all the techniques that the writer was adopting to kill the little insect, the mosquito. You can see he was such a huge animal, he was such a big human being, and the mosquito was so small, still he was not able to kill it. All the efforts were in vain. It was all in vain. He was not able to kill that little insect. Mosquito started playing with him openly and ostentatiously. Ostentatiously is also openly. So the mosquito started playing with him. He felt that the mosquito very easily, it was enjoying the battle with the writer, and he was feeling so helpless. He was feeling so humiliated that he was not able to kill the mosquito. Although in the very beginning he was thinking that it would be very easy for him to kill the mosquito, but now he was feeling that it was not such easy as he was thinking. The mosquito was acting like a skillful matador. Children, all of you know that in bullfighting the role of matador is very important, because it makes the bull furious and completely the bull is under his control. So the writer has given a beautiful example. He says that my condition was just like an infuriated bull, and the mosquito was behaving like a skillful matador. I was not able to defeat that mosquito, and he was completely able to control me like a skillful matador controls the infuriated bull. So it is really a very humorous example that the writer has given. He felt that now the mosquito had started playing with him. He was enjoying the company of the writer. He wanted a little sport, and what sport like being chased by a huge lumbering windmill of a creature? Lumbering, because now he was so exhausted that he was walking with heavy steps, children. He had been chasing the mosquito for such a long time that now he had lost all the energy and he was lumbering, he was walking with heavy steps, children. And he was such a huge animal, he was such a big in size, and he was not able to defeat that mosquito, and gradually that sense of superiority that was there in him in the very beginning was fading, children. He felt how he could be superior to a creature who had defeated him in the only battle he fought with him. Now he felt that he was entering into the spirit of a fellow. He felt that he was not superior to that wretched creature. The writer is also suggesting that outer appearance should not be the basis of our judgment. We can be biased. We have to know someone before we make judgment about that, because he was thinking that mosquito would be very easy target for him, but it was not the right decision, children. That he felt later on. So he entered into the spirit of a fellow. This insect developed into a personality. He has humanized the insect, the mosquito, and he felt that gradually it was developing into a personality, because it had all the qualities, the intelligence that a human being must have. He decided to be magnanimous. So how could he regain his prestige? The best method was to be modest, to be merciful. So he decided that he would be magnanimous. He would show mercy towards the insect, towards the mosquito. Nobility and mercy are the noblest attribute. Now he started feeling that to be kind, to be noble are the best attribute, are the best qualities that a person can possess. So he decided to be magnanimous, to be noble, and so he just withdrew his death sentence and went into the corner and sat silently and started reading the paper again. Children, he decided that now he would not kill the mosquito. But the reality was that he could not kill the mosquito. So in order to regain his self-respect, he decided that he would not kill the mosquito and become magnanimous and show mercy towards the little insect. So he felt that he knew the mosquito better, and he was developing a sort of affection for that little insect because he recognized a more distant relationship with the mosquito. He felt that he had a sort of relationship with that little insect, and at that moment the mosquito came and sat on the magazine, the weekly organ that the writer was reading at the time, children. On one page there was the article Peace Trap, and on the other the modesty of Mr. Hughes. Children, both these articles are symbolic. Peace Trap because the writer has decided to be peaceful with the mosquito. The modesty of Mr. Hughes because the writer has also decided to be modest with the mosquito. When the mosquito sat there on the magazine, he thought that it was really very easy to kill the mosquito. The only thing he had to do was to close the book. But he decided that he would not do it because he had withdrawn the death sentence. Now he started feeling a sort of affection for that little insect. He felt that fortune had made them fellow traveler. It was fortunate. It was their luck that made them fellow traveler. They traveled in the same compartment in the same train, children. He had interested the mosquito and the mosquito had entertained him. The obligation is mutual, means both of them have done something for each other. So the obligation was mutual because both of them had done something for other. As you read, that mosquito had entertained him and he had interested the mosquito. So both are doing something for each other. Now the writer felt that there is a sort of relationship between him and the mosquito because both of them are mortals, and the miracle of life is common between the author and the mosquito, and it's mystery too. The life is a miracle, the life is a mystery for both the mosquito and the writer, and he felt that both of them are totally unaware about the origin and end of life. So they are fellow mortals. There is a sort of relationship between them because both of them are not only fellow travelers, they are also fellow mortals. The writer ends the lesson with a note of uncertainty because he said that we come into the lighted carriage, flutter round the lap, and then go into the night again. The life of journey has been compared to the life of the train. We start our journey of life, but we are totally unaware of our origin. We flutter round the lamp. We are interested. We are attracted towards all the materialistic things in life. And later on, when the hour comes, we leave this world. And the writer uses the word perhaps. Nobody knows where we go after death. It is really a mystery. Life is a mystery for both the mosquito and the writer. So he ends the lesson with a note of uncertainty. As I told you in the very beginning, we have the theme of uncertainty that you can find here. He heard the voice of the porter who called him and said that it was his station. He seized his hat and a stick and got down from the carriage. But when he turned, he saw that the mosquito, his fellow traveler, was still fluttering round the lamp. And still it was uncertain when was he going to alight from the train. So the lesson ends with a note of uncertainty, children. Children, before I give you the homework, let me do a recap of all the things that we studied in this lesson. A.G. Gardiner was traveling by a train. It was a slow train. It used to stop at all the small stations. He told about the luxuries of freedom and all the things that we can do when we are all alone in the compartment. He told how we can enjoy the freedom. We can sing, we can dance, we can play marble, we can enjoy the freedom, we can shut the window and open it. We can stand on our head, we can lie on the cushion at the full length. But the writer did not do any of these things. He was enjoying the pale reminiscence of in the northern sky. And later on, he felt that he was not all alone. He had a fellow traveler also inside the carriage. And he had beautifully introduced that fellow traveler. It was a wingy, nippy interpret that we vaguely call a mosquito. That mosquito was a very little insect, but the writer was not able to get victory over that little insect. First of all, he was feeling that he was superior to that creature, but later on he admitted the defeat and felt that he was not able to kill it. Although he gave it the death sentence, but he was not able to kill it. So in order to reassert his prestige, he withdrew his death sentence and decided that he would not kill it and he would be magnanimous, children. And when the station came, he felt that life is also a journey. We begin our journey and we end our journey. The life comes to an end, and he felt that there is this distant relationship between him and the fellow traveler, that is the mosquito, because both of them are mortals. They have to die one or the other day. We are just like apparitions. Today we are, and tomorrow we will not be there in this world. So life is a mystery, life is a miracle for both the creatures, the writer and the mosquito. The writer has ended the lesson with a note of uncertainty when he says that he is not sure where the mosquito would go into the night. Now, children, I will give you some homework. There are 5 questions that I will give you, children. What did the fellow traveler do to avoid the death sentence? You have to tell the techniques the fellow traveler adopted to avoid the death sentence. The second question is, why did the author decide to be magnanimous? Why he decided to be magnanimous or merciful? The third question is, what relationship did the writer develop with his fellow traveler? When he felt that he would not be able to kill it, What sort of relationship did he develop with that fellow traveler? What does the word black cap mean? And the last question is, why has the writer compared himself to an infuriated bull? Now children, you have to read the lesson thoroughly and then only you have to answer the questions.